Happy Sunday. It is another community call and the Raw Think Tank where we come together, talk about what's happening and what we need to do to start accomplishing our goals. So this Sunday we have a lot in store. We'll be talking about our website. This week we've been voting on themes. One of the very first things we decided when we decided to come together to create a resource website was we wanted this to be all about the users, those that were coming to this website for those resources, for that community, and making it as friendly for them as possible, making sure it had the widgets, the buttons, whatever the community wants to use. That's what we are all about. And like I just said, it starts with how that even looks. So we did have a vote. We all came together looking at the different themes on our last community call, narrowed it down to a few that we all really liked, and then put it out to the community to vote. I did see a good amount of people casting their votes, so that was great to see. And we'll keep doing that the more that we build out our website, obviously. So that's something we'll be talking about. Let me get my phone out because we actually had a few things to talk about, and I definitely don't want to forget any of them. So we have that. Then we also have to talk about Twitter Spaces. This week will be the first time that we have all three rolling at the same time. We'll have our Wednesday Spotlight, our Thursday Physical to Digital, and our Fashion Fridays. So definitely want to get on one accord with that. We'll be talking about collaborating, especially with how we collaborate ourselves and how we present ourselves. We'll be talking about the fashion show strategy, and then we'll also be ending it with a presentation from Wonderverse. So that presentation should take about 15 minutes. We will have time to ask questions. One of the things that's really been great, as you guys may see, Andros and Camo, they're not from the same company, but kind of they're connected in a way where they come from different groups that have a lot of the tools that we are already using, or not using, but experimenting with. So you guys know, every week we're trying different task bots, and even today I added a new bot to actually pre-schedule posts that post in Discord. So if you guys see in the daily updates chat that I made, the post that was posted at 10 a.m. that was posted from our new pre-posting bot, and it works. So that's what I'll be using to actually schedule posts that will keep our Discord updated every day with our daily posts on what's happening. So being able to connect with other businesses like this that are already building the tools and different things like that is really great. With that being said, there is something that I do want to address that I kind of had mentioned in our strategy call initially as well. And this is for all of our listeners and anybody that's here, because it kind of has struck me kind of by surprise. If you guys had seen, you guys know we created this SOP reference library out of deciding that we didn't want to do a marketplace instead, right? When we were looked at as, do we want to keep going with the marketplace? Do we want to do open source? Do we want to do this or that? We decided, hey, just a website with resources to be this hub would be amazing instead. So if you guys had seen, Havel had mentioned that another group had actually started doing the same thing. And I was honestly a bit surprised because I had just had a meeting with them a few weeks ago talking about Raw and our resource website and what we're building here, and how we can all collaborate. And then to see a few weeks later that they now are building a SOP reference library, I was honestly surprised. So I did ask them, what made you want to start your own reference library based on SOPs instead of contributing to the one that we're already building here with Raw? And their response surprised me even more because they act like they had no idea we were already doing that. Which again is just super surprising on many levels. I'm going to keep it very transparent because it's a very niche idea. We just had a whole conversation and we are all two very small fish in these big oceans that are very close to each other.
Is this the fashion now?
Yeah.
Dude, I freaking knew it. I was telling them about, I was like, you guys like talk to Raw now? They're literally, you know, and I was like telling them about, because I hadn't actually like talked to you guys yet. Like if it makes you like feel any better, they're like ages behind and don't want to use tools that are going to do them good. So you guys are way out in front and going to move a lot more efficiently. But I'm sitting there like, because, and then that makes sense now why just last week it was like they did not seem stoked that I was like it seemed, even though it was like very brief, it seemed like I was very heavily involved in Raw now because I was hosting Fashion Friday, and they were like very shocked by that. And I was like, what, like why? No, that makes sense. That's crazy.
I know.
I'm also a founding member there, so yeah, I can let you know. Like, I will bridge that gap, even if they don't want it.
Yeah,
which doesn't make sense.
I was really confused as well because I've been working with them closely as well since they've kind of, you know, are a part of fashion. There's a lot of us designers that come together and share our ideas and really help each other build. So that was my primary question, you know, from the beginning on, okay, if you've seen what we're doing and you decide to do your own thing, what didn't you like about what we were doing? Because in that mindset, I couldn't be super offended because it's like marketplaces, right? Every new designer is creating marketplaces because that's how you sell your stuff. So the more reference libraries there are, the more people talking about SOPs, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that we as Raw DAO have to work especially hard so that one, we are being known as the originators, so that, you know, traffic always comes back to us. I'm happy Vlad just joined. He gave a perfect expression during our last strategy call, which is all roads lead to Rome, right? That's what we are trying to be, that hub. It's great for them to do that because one of our biggest SOPs is about, you know, designers and how to use the software and how to create different things with the software. So I definitely want, you know, there to be a bridge there for you to just submit your templates on our website, and then we go through our verification process, and then, you know, it just be that source. So then we have, you know, different organizations funneling different information. And even in our last strategy call, again, we talked about how that can be for anybody. We can use that to go and talk to any organization, anybody that's already creating these kind of things, to start bridging together with each other. So with that being said, though, it just really lit a fire under me to, one, make sure that we are putting ourselves out there in that position so that we are being known for that information. Hey, Havo.
Yeah.
And then also just making sure that we're clear that, you know, we want to be that pillar. We are that hub. So it's like, you can go do your thing, but Raw is that hub where it comes back to that main source.
Yeah, and I think that you guys having like the niche of like, you know, having the physical to digital conversation is at least initially what really like attracted me to leaning heavily into at least watching what you guys were doing before I could get more involved. And I think that it also like builds some like, and you're out kind of ahead, so you can make it what you want and you can kind of drive the narrative there. And there's definitely plenty of SOPs to be written. Right. And so as long as like, I think Raw DAO establishes like their place, whatever place that is that you want to be, you're well positioned to do so. And then, you know, there's so many other things that whether they focus more on like, okay, how are we going to like educate people, and what are we going to like, you know, how are we bringing people into this space, and they can, and like more broadly fashion terms, like, you know, directories of like information. Well, there's just so much to cover that I know that there's obviously a medium, but right. The fact that they don't want that, like, that it had to be this way instead of just having like a very transparent conversation kind of irks me, and it doesn't surprise me at all. But it does irk me, and I do sit on every committee there, so I was gonna kind of roll off that to transition more to Raw DAO, but it might be smart to like just stay and like at least from a setup standpoint, like see that through as a mediator.
Yeah, and Kama, that's why I said I was really surprised, because I had a meeting with them for that same exact thing not even a few weeks ago, talking about not just Raw, but me myself as an artist and how I can contribute to the entire DAO, understanding how, you know, it's that same kind of bridge as well, and thinking, you know, oh, we are in this kind of alignment, but That's why if you guys seen when I have put it, I said collaborating with integrity, because like you said, how it has had to come like this. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with saying,
Yeah,
I've never seen your SOP reference library before, because I'm just like, so I said, okay, well then what inspired the idea? And the answer was transparency. And I was like, I feel like this is just not going how this conversation needs to go right now at this point.
Oh my god.
But at the end of it, like I said, I tried to do the same on, whatever, let's just figure out how to bridge these two gaps anyways. We have the hub, you have a specific area, and let's just push Raw to say, hey, we are the hub that everybody comes to meet to, and you can keep doing whatever you're doing. So that's something I really wanted to start the meeting with, because it is something that happened, and it's something that we have to keep in mind. It's something Vlad warned us about, when we started putting together our pitch decks and roadmaps and white papers, and we're telling the entire world all of the amazing things that we're doing. And we're saying, we're still building our technical team to really put the work out there. So we have to be mindful. We were thinking of non-disclosures and different things like, oh, you going to get an NFT to prove that you've heard this idea, And I was just like a punch in the gut when it came full force, not even, too far in advance, to say this and still. And again, it's not that it's a bad thing, because the more of us talking about it, the better, right? I joined the Twitter space later, and I heard Kamo talking about SOPs, and I'm like, wait, why she keep talking about SOPs? I'm like, maybe she's just really geeked up about this idea, but not knowing that.
Yeah, and the fashion now is there. Nico is there.
Yeah.
Which is, she's obviously the one that this originated.
Mentioned it initially, right? But that at least got the convo going. So that's why I'm like, it's not that it's a bad thing. It just, again, Raw has to be the one to put ourselves in the position to say, hey, we originated this idea. We have all the SOPs. If you want SOPs, this is where you come, because it's on us at the end of the day.
Let's concentrate on the end goal, and not in the opponents.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it's all about. Just getting the content out there, how we can connect with each other, and collaborating. And that's why I mentioned how we can co-collaborate. Because even as designers, there's a lot of things that you're going to want to protect or not protect. And that's why I just mentioned how Vlad has even started using QR codes and just different things to be able to collaborate in a better way. So with that being said, let me see. What is our next topic? Sorry, Vlad. Go ahead.
Quick. No, just real quick. Something that was mentioned in a call I was in earlier. Because Sunday seems to be the day for it. I have been in calls back to back today. Everybody's talking about when the big boys put their pants on and decided to jump in and get in here. Everybody's asking, well, money can't buy the community. Money can't buy. Guys, yeah, it can. When they make it easy to onboard, when they make it easy to come on, and they spoon feed the people who have no idea what to do, how to come in, and they hold them by the hand, and they put them in their little walled garden. If we've gone through and we haven't built something that is so much cooler and so much better and so much nicer, yeah, they're going to come right along. And if they can come along and just go, oh yeah, here, well, let's just snag all of this, and we've got the money to throw at the developers to make it all so much better and cooler because we've got the money to do it, and then onboard all the people, Web 3 comes just like Web 2, and it becomes a walled garden, and we don't want that. So we're going to have to figure out some way to make our subs really stick out, that we are just that much better, and that means we're going to have to beat the big boys at their own game.
Well, what they don't have is people. They don't have you guys.
Yeah.
Well, no,
they don't
we
have
can do it.
You can't buy that. And they can't skew statistics, which if there's like this, I posted on Twitter, so like the average creator in NFTs made $174,000 last year, 2021.
Wow.
Guess how many the average creator on Facebook made? $0, because they don't make anything. On Instagram, it was like $2 annually average. Spotify was $8, and I forget the other one. But yeah, so that data doesn't lie. And then the people element, and so it's just like it comes down to just showing up.
Yeah.
Like as long as everyone keeps showing up, and like we're building the community, it will be like self-fulfilling, I feel like.
And that's exactly why, and that's exactly what the whole point of this was, again, is we have to be the hub, right? Again, all roads lead back to Raw. This is why people are interested in Raw. This is why we were creating that website, to attract the reviewers, to attract the people, to attract traffic to us, to connect with people, to the resources, connect people to the other people, because they want to see, oh, I have a question, or I'm looking for someone, I want to go to Raw to find that. It's like, think about it. Elon Musk was just willing to pay what, 40, I think it even went up to like 45 billion, 43 billion, whatever, to get to Twitter. Why, instead of just using that 43 to build his own Twitter? Because everybody was already on Twitter. Like you guys just said, you can't have those people. So our main thing is just coming back to Raw. Even, for example, like our Twitter Spaces on Friday. We want to emphasize how that's powered by Raw, right? Each individual designer has their own things going on, but we want to remind people that, you know, we all are together thanks to Raw DAO. You know, we have a fashion hub in this DAO where any designer can share any of their stuff, where we'll have a massive calendar and fashion shows and so many other ways. So in everything that we do, whenever we're marketing, whenever we're representing Raw, we want to use Raw as that anchor. All of us are a part of this ecosystem that we're building in order to help with our other stuff, right? We all have our own individual designing brands and are a part of Raw to help.
That's making it cooler.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So we're all a part of it to help try to make this get a little bigger and grow. So just in everything that we do, always remember to anchor Raw as our anchor, right? This is what brings us together and why we're here. So very exciting with all that we're doing. Twitter Spaces this week. Kamo just hopped out, so I was just about to mention POAPs, but usually we have POAPs on our Wednesday Spaces, and I was going to see if that's something that we wanted to transition into Fashion Fridays and Thursdays as well, because that again is one of those anchors that we have here in Raw, which is learn to earn. So usually if people come to our workshops, you know, they get a free NFT, and we usually use POAPs to do that. So Havo, if Kamo hops back in, I'll kind of re-mention it there, but think about it, Havo, it's very easy. I can make a SOP on how to do it, or I can even do it. We have a community member as well who is very interested in making POAPs, but they're very cool, and not necessary though. So but cool.
Yeah, let's do it. I know POAPs is it's a kind of a hook for people.
Yeah.
And everybody, you know, like
is.
I know like POAPs. So let's have it. You know, we can translate into the Fashion Fridays, and if Kaimo also can use it for the Thursdays and Defi and the Defi spaces too, where we can use that to bring more people in. You know, that's it. The main idea that we all have with Raw, you know, making this for the community. That's why I think if we keep you know aiming in that direction, there will be no project that will be get on the way, because they're mostly looking for something for their own for the project. So if we aim this on the community, for the community, and stick to that, you know, bringing people on board and letting them use Raw as a platform, I don't think nobody can stand that, because they're looking for something in particular.
Exactly.
If we're going to do that, make it on a theme, make them collectible, and make it only so you can get them there.
Yeah.
So that the idea is they want to collect them all.
Yeah.
That way there's a reason to be at all of them.
Yeah, I like that, Vlad. Collect them all. Yeah, it's because then that way maybe we can like pre-plan. Like, you know, I know we've been kind of like trying to get things in advance. So something I've been doing for like Raw is trying to create like a curriculum kind of thing. So like maybe June we'll have a focus, and then, you know, you get 4 POAPs if you come to each one and kind of thing. And then the POAPs are also placeholders. Maybe you collect 4 because you come to 4 Fashion Fridays, and then that unlocks something else. So, you know, showing proof that you attended these things will be able to unlock a lot. So I like that thinking, Vlad. And we can definitely keep building on that. So cool. Tiny also said she's going to be working on the banner that will showcase all of our Twitter spaces now, because we will have 3 a week: Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. Wednesdays is again still open to anybody that wants to be in the spotlight, any topic. One topic that we have on the agenda so far is QR codes with IYK. I do need to set up an exact date and time with them, but if there's topics that you guys want to talk about, or members that you want to have in that spotlight and dig into their brain a little bit, let's do it. Hava, what's up?
I just want to say that let's put on the table the idea of working with books, NFT books. I've been researching something like what Vlad is doing, and we're being, taking those things in the orientation channel. And I see a huge idea and very marketable with NFT books. Nice. I think we should brought that to the table and think about that. Yes. Vlad has been making a great work about it, and I think we can, maybe push a little bit, NFT books with AR technology and some other stuff that we can bring for it. Because it's a huge market, and there's like not many people doing much with books and NFTs.
Nice. Okay, and I know you said you've been looking into that. So if there's any artists on Twitter that you kind of already see minting books and things like that, send them my way, and I'll see if maybe we can get maybe a panelist of, different ones, and they can talk about their experience. Or again, maybe we line it up, different weeks focused on the different kinds of minting books, and or maybe we do different kinds of writings. Maybe we'll focus on poetry one week and short stories and long stories, or I don't know, we'll dive into the different ways we can get into it. But I definitely like that idea, and I agree. Before Vlad was in here, when we had created that writing channel, I'm like, I know there's writers out here who need to figure out how to put these books on there. So to have Vlad in here and like that be his focus, and like you said, how he's really doing it with the QR codes and the metaverse, and like always executing behind these ideas with merging that technology with writing, I'm all for it. And I think we'll be able to attract a good community that's looking for that too, right? On how to do this. Books and writers are in that same boat as artists, right? Where it's like this old system just isn't working for us. Kamo just kind of went through those numbers on how much creatives are really making trying to advertise on these platforms. You're publishing on Amazon, it's hard for you to try to get back your information from them. It's a lot of things that you start running into. So having NFTs and being that, again, that point of reference that people go to for any kind of physical to digital, that's going to be where we really, again, become that source. So I'm for it. I'm ready. And I'm glad to hear you guys are too, and talking about it more during those Thursday sessions. So that's great. What's up, Pablo?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right? Let's do
sorry,
it.
I just want to back that up. I'm all for it. Let's do that. And let's bring all that community here, and aiming for that community idea, so nobody can take on the lead. It's not like it's like Fashion Friday. We leave that the people make the hosting and from their account. So it's like that's like taking power out of the people when they're trying to take on Fashion Friday. Because I'm willing to give you that, so you can take the spot, and we're okay with that. So that's where we be aiming. Yeah. I'm not thinking of that power positions, you empower people to do it.
Exactly. We're just trying to, the way I always describe Raw is we're just trying to create the skeleton so that everybody else can connect to it and use it how we would like to, right? And that's why even when I seen somebody else trying to recreate what we're doing, it's like, what would you like to change about it? How can we still come together and create something that would work for others to add to, right? Because even with our website or just anything that we're doing, our fashion show, every single thing that we do is just, here's what we're setting up, and we want the community to come and actually run it and be a part of it. And that's the true spirit of a DAO. So I think that it's really beautiful that that's what we embody truly. And, we're all learning how to do that, and what it's like to co-create with each other, and work with each other. I had somebody that was on a team before that would say that all the time. Like, I'm not used to working with people like this very often. I'm used to either working a job and just kind of being told what to do, or working by myself, but not in this free-flowing, self-accountable kind of group work. So I get that it's a different kind of mindset, but that's where it starts with the mindset, and us just all being in that same alignment and wanting that same mission. So I think it's really great that our team is growing with people that just want to create those resources for the entire community that want to go physical to digital, because it's going to take us to help onboard those people to find those tools and get connected. So I'm excited, and I think the kind of people that we're going to be connecting with next is even more exciting. I've been really, really brewing up some ideas on who we will be pitching to once we start pitching, and not regarding like for funding, but regarding our people that we'll be collaborating with. And I've kind of alluded to before regarding like leading universities and different things like that, but how we'll be able to expand our community, and protocols. And even Vlad has said during our strategy call, again, just other people that are making other resource websites, right, and being able to streamline their information to us, and just creating all of these beautiful bridges that are just going to connect people and cultures and resources. So excited about all the ways that we'll be doing that. Let's reveal our theme while we're talking about our resource website. Drum roll, please. All right. So I'm going to go check our daily updates. If you haven't voted yet, you better hurry up before I get there first. Because we are going to see our theme that was chosen, so that we can talk about what we have to do next for our website. And then we'll hear from Wonderverse, and then we'll probably be wrapping up for the day. So our theme, let me see. I think number 7 was in the lead. Oh man, it came close. Okay. So let me see. Okay, so yeah, number 7 is the winner. Yep, it was close. The number 1 was a top competitor. So it looks like number 7. So that is going to be the coherent one. It looks like it's just a plain picture, a little circle, some words, but very straightforward. Makes sense. That's what people think looks the cleanest. I heard somebody unmute.
Oh, that's just me. I was gonna say, if you want, I can show you. I can show you like the detailed version now. That way people can see it.
Oh yeah, sure. That would be great.
Let me do that.
So if we're watching our stream, Tiny is showing us the theme that has been chosen. So this is coherent.
It looks like this, with a picture at the top, and then it has kind of like, these are all just the different posts, which is where I guess where our like post would be. So it's just down like that, and I'm sure we can customize it too.
Yeah.
The menu, all the socials, different menus, the tags from the post.
Yeah, very straightforward. That's cool. And I think something that will be really nice is if we can get some good graphics, like that picture that's behind it. If we can get like a really cool like 3D, maybe moving kind of graphic, or anything that you guys have in mind. If anybody is like, or Tiny, you said your cousin is into graphic designs too and is going to help or something, right?
My mic still on?
Yeah, your mic's on.
Yeah. Let me see. My sister, the one that streams on Twitch, she has like a lot going on right now. So
okay.
Let me see if she can still help me.
Yeah, I was say I remember you saying somebody said
I can also do 3D stuff. It depends like what you need based on like just timing, but I do graphic design too.
Ooh, nice.
Do you want that, or do you want Google? Just simple letters, very plain. Google.
Well, we want something really nice.
I'm not.
Like, wow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you're just like, wow, this is definitely like a Web3 website. Like, this shit is dope.
Right. But clean, too. Especially seeing that's the theme that the community likes. You know, obviously, they also want clean, simple, straightforward. So, we definitely will be getting in touch. Vlad, any kind of ideas you start putting together, of course, drop them in the ideas chat.
Well, my only thought was is if we go with something fairly simple, we can then do a theme a month or a theme a season.
Oh yeah, like to go with our seasons.
And that would allow us to change it up.
Yeah, I like that.
It's only a thought. It's not something I've even thought out. I'm simply saying, if you want to go with what has worked in Web 2, and that doesn't necessarily mean it would translate, but it doesn't get much bigger than Google.
Yeah, I like that. Doing it each season. So especially with June being the last of Q2 in season 2, so our next season will be starting in July. So next month we'll have to start voting on that new theme that we'd all like that season. I think we can get some cool things pulled out here, especially once people see how these themes are used to inspire content and fashion shows and all kinds of stuff. We haven't talked about too many more details, but I know we've talked about maybe doing a concert for next season, and intertwined and all kind of things. So next month we'll be kind of strategizing for that next season, picking a theme, and then that can also help us, choose a theme to go with that website as well. So good idea though. And then we'll have to get with Kamo maybe about getting some cool 3D designs for the website, and including stuff that Vlad has and Tiny has, and anybody listening, because I know a lot of people are into front end designing a little bit here. There are so many roles that people can take on in order to add to this, in order to help build your own portfolios as we are building as well. So any way that anybody wants to contribute, please feel free. Because we all just do what we can, So, yes, great info though. So aside from that, I'm going to focus back on Sergio and Tiny. So now we have our theme selected. What would you guys say is the next step that we have to do for our website? I would say it would be great if we would be able to kind of get a landing page out there. I don't know. I know sometimes, like, if you buy a domain, you can get like a pre page before your page is actually updated, and maybe it could just be like, click here to get your ticket for the fashion show, and then that way people have gone to the site before. But if not, obviously we can wait until maybe during the fashion show. But I think the best, like, one of the goals for the website at this point should be funneling our resources, right? We have a Google form or a template that people can access. So accessing that template, submitting the template, so that it goes into our drive, and figuring out what that process would be like. We also have our authentication process that we've been going through that will put that SOP through like a checks and balance, so that we can kind of like chain track. I don't know if that's like even a word, but use blockchain somehow, some way to like check, oh, this person has reviewed it and this person has tested it, and again offer credibility to the different processes, because there's different ways that people will be able to complete things as well. So that will also add, again, credibility. Think about if you could go onto Wikipedia and then you can see somebody said, hey, this actually didn't work and you need to try that, or different notes from different people that have come across that information before. Including, something like that, how we want to present that information, looking at what that's about to start looking like on our website. And then also, if that is actually going to be more of like the bigger task that will take obviously a lot more to roll out, I was thinking another place that we can start would be our marketplace reviews. You guys know we're doing that scorecard where we'll be grading marketplaces like 1 to 10 how everything is going. We've kind of put out 10 different questions we would ask in 3 different categories, where the mentors would answer it and then the collectors would be able to answer it, so that when people want to know what it was like using OpenSea or Foundation, or even a new marketplace that people have never heard of before, like Faviant. You guys know that's somebody that we're working with that, is not too credible in the space because they're new, but we can help them get some tests in there by encouraging people to, mint on it and offer this review to say what they thought about minting on it. And then they can use that for the next. So if that would be a better place to start as well, I think that would be cool, because then we can also use our fashion show as like a way to kind of batch collect that kind of data, where it's like any artist that is showcasing during the fashion show, fill out one of these reviews about the marketplace that you minted on, and then anybody that collects during that fashion show, offer your feedback on what it was like buying through that marketplace review, and then so on and so forth. But those are some of the points that I was thinking would be coming next, or a focus. So I would love to hear from Sergio or Tiny about what would be those next steps that you guys would kind of need from the community.
I'll just go real quick, just so I'll forget if I don't talk real quick. So I think like for the first thing that we need to do is set up like the basic landing page, with the info, the social contact, and the Discord link. And then maybe we can put up the promo for the fashion show, because like I don't know what the timeline is. Maybe Sergio can talk more about that. But I was really hoping to like have like this part up by June, by the end of this month, so that way we can use it to promo for the fashion show. We have somewhere to send people, so hopefully that's what I was hoping for. But then after that, we can add all the SOPs, and then we need to finalize those questionnaires that you're talking about. So
yes. I
think are they to be finalized, or are we still working on it?
The questions the question has just always been, are we creating a Google document again to kind of have people answer there, or will we just be putting the questions directly on our website and then reflecting results that way? And then that's why it's just kind of about like what would make the most sense to do that. But we have finalized our questions. We went through, everybody shared questions, finalized those. We have those. It's just how we want to be presenting it.
What about Notion in the meantime? There's projects really popular, like Illogix, like all their stuff is still hosted. I mean, they do have a main like staking site, but for a long time it was like they ran everything out of Notion, which is just it's a really integrated, glorified note-taking tool that you can publish to the web without even paying.
Yeah.
And so that's like something you can integrate forms and everything and questions. So I use that in the meantime while I'm building site.
Maybe. I know that's something Sergio had actually shared before when it came to our website. So we actually did start one for the website, but it was just kind of more amongst the team to organize tasks and who would be doing what. But that definitely sounds like a good idea on like how we can start collecting this data in the meantime and to prepare for that. So, okay. Great feedback. I guess to kind of piggyback off of your question, Tiny, to head to Sergio and then we'll wrap up the website. Is Sergio, what kind of website or timeline would you be saying we would be looking at from your perspective on what you have to do next as well, and anything that we can do as a community to help with those next steps as well on engineering it?
First is like, I guess like the small task. It's like set up the landing page and then link the main name with the WordPress account.
Yes.
I think that's like 2 weeks.
Landing page and
or a week. I mean, depending on own works, but
yeah. So what?
I don't want to put like a lot of pressure on anyone.
Yeah, and I think we can have the landing page and domain connected to that. I think you said you wanted to have that done before June 1st, Tiny. So that's like a week and a half, kind of.
Yeah, it's for like the basic. I'm not talking like the whole website.
Right. Just a landing page where we could just have like a physical to digital fashion show, whatever flyer we end up kind of making, so people can check out the website and do it. I was also going to make a subscriber list like we had been talking about for the weekly recap anyhow. So maybe we could just put like a subscribers list email there where they can subscribe and get updates at that point as we continue to build.
MailChimp will let you do a quick and dirty landing page in half hour, 45 minutes.
Cool. MailChimp. Got it. Yes. Okay. So that sounds like a plan. So we will start working on that landing page. I know, Tiny, you said that's something you have some knowledge in, so we'll be working on, and I've got that domain name, so I'll be helping you as well with however we can get that connected and updating it, and then we can start sharing ideas. One thing we wanted to do is also talk about creative contests. You guys seen Fashion Fridays was really great when different people were able to offer feedback on adjusting that. So we are going to put out a contest to make some flyers for the fashion show as well. For the fashion show, we were also thinking of having custom avatars so that when people join the Raw World, they can just use our own avatars. Niels is super duper friendly with Ready Player Me, so we have a lot of different cool things that we're going to be doing with like pre-recorded animations and importing them in there with the Ready Player Me and content and different things like that. So we were also thinking of throwing in a like fashion design contest, basically, you know, designing like a cool t-shirt that the Ready Player Me people could wear. So if y'all trying to compete, you better bring your heat, because y'all know tie-dye t-shirts is my thing and I got hot new patterns. So but it'll be a lot of fun. So and we can actually have people wearing that when they come into our fashion show. Vlad, what's up?
Not to interrupt again, but I'm going to. Sorry.
Please. I don't mind.
Something we might want to consider. We're trying to build an email list so we can get in touch with these people, so when we do come up with something new, we can constantly be in contact with these folks, newsletters, whatever.
Yes.
It might not be a bad idea with Fashion Fridays, all these Twitter folks coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter right now has all of our contact information for them. If Twitter kicks us off, shadow bans us, whatever, tomorrow, we lose all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point along the way, if we can find out some kind of giveaway that we get their contact information, their email address, that would be a huge plus.
Yeah.
And if we store that ourselves, then now Twitter no longer owns that, we do.
Right.
It's a big difference.
And maybe that's a way we can even tie in the POAPs, you know, or something like that. And Kamo, now that you're back too, I wanted to kind of go back to POAPs real quick for Twitter Spaces, since Vlad just mentioned it. Something that we were doing when we had our regular Wednesday workshops or Twitter Spaces, were giving POAPs to everybody that joined. So something that we can kind of keep consistent, and we do that in the name of Learn to Earn, which is something else that we all try to kind of contribute to, is, you know, empowering people to want to keep learning and earning things for learning. So with that, we do usually have a POAP when people come to our Twitter Spaces. Now, I will say it is a little extensive when there's a lot of people, and I would say with us having POAPs, our Twitter Spaces started growing like crazy. I want to say the last one had like over 200 people that had joined, and the people that keep coming back every single week. So it definitely helps, but I would say maybe do like the first 50 people, or the first, right, so that way it's a little more exclusive, so people want to be there first.
Why do you, is it like, why would, besides the exclusivity, but typically for POAP, like I haven't seen that too much. Is it because the distribution method wasn't that simple for a lot of people?
For a lot of people, yeah, because for some reason when I request to get my links, I get individual links that I have to send to individual people. So I have been looking for the distributor where I can just get one link and then people can click one link to claim. But
yeah, that keeps getting botted though. Like, it's so the distribution of POAP is such a problem. I had 3 get botted, and then I got in trouble because my stuff was getting botted by them, and then I had people that were mad because they couldn't claim. And then so I think what I'm gonna do, because I run a DeFi space that has hundreds of people, and it's just gonna like keep growing. So I think what I might do is just make a super like quick and dirty like website, or I'm already launching a website here soon, and build in just like a essentially integrated embedded type form into the site that collects, like during the space, they have the time maybe at the beginning, but you can submit it only while you're on the space. They put in their wallet address, submit, and then at the end of the space, you go and you just take that CSV and you essentially issue. There's a whole distribution method if you collect the addresses.
Yeah, I've seen that
really
before.
fast.
I have seen that one before. If you have the addresses and then can distribute it a lot easier after, so that would make sense. And then that would kind of tie into what we were all just talking about, which was kind of trying to collect that data in general, anyways, right? Because then even if you were to create that website, then it's even kind of easier. Like, hey, I've already signed up before. Here, you just kind of can check in. Like, here's my wallet and my name, and I'm there.
That's what I was thinking is too. Yeah. Actually, well, on the drive up here, I was like, how? Because I can like integrate. I can integrate a front end with Web3 and like Bubble.io, but it's for like rudimental stuff. And I was trying to figure out if I could do that because it'd be really cool. But like, if they could just audit, they only have to do it once. But then you still have to do a check. They were in the space. So like you'd want to have a different link, like for each space, right? So they just go to one, and then like they know that if that workshop's happening again, they can claim the POAP that going. So that like made me pause, but I'm like actively thinking about that and like implementing it, so I'll let you know. But you can definitely do the address by address thing, like as a first step.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. You know what, even at that point, even if it was just limited to 50, I especially having like, say for example, Thursdays where it's like me and you, I would totally not mind sending out 50 POAPs to 50 people, because I can totally do that while others are talking. And then, you know, after 50, then that's it. So it's just when you're like, oh, it's POAPs for everyone, and then it starts getting a little crazy at that point. But I'm happy that that's what you're into and already trying to figure that out. And that's what I think is so cool about how we've all aligned. Like, this is exactly what we run into every time we talk. Like, hey, you're doing that? Me too. This is what I was working on. This is what you got. So definitely need to keep sharing notes on using those POAPs. So sounds like a plan. Well, guys, that's all I had for updates regarding the fashion show. We have a lot of content that we talked about during our strategy call that we will be rolling out this week. Like I said, I've got the automated poster, so I will be having all of those scheduled and shared throughout the week. We've talked about a lot of tasks for what we need to do. Anybody that wants to contribute to anything we've talked about, again, even if you're just listening, please do. Our ideas chat is always open. You can fully onboard to the DAO and start to contribute anyway to the fashion show, to building it, even if you don't want to display your own stuff, building the website, contributing to the website, whether that's the resources in it, the SOPs, anything. I could go on all day about all the different ways that so many people can contribute, but you guys already know, and I just am happy to see our core spaces growing on Sundays as well, and you know, us just coming together and seriously building this space that will work for us seriously, because this is what it takes. So thank you guys for joining. Before we leave, I am going to have Andros take over and give us a presentation about Wonderverse and some more of their tools. This is some of the things that we've been looking at when it comes to our governance, and a lot of that as well, because you guys know that's one of the things I especially have been working on and trying to iron out when it comes to our foundations. So we definitely have some great ideas, and would love to hear what kind of tools they have to offer to see if there's stuff we can implement and try out there. So Andros, if you're ready, we're ready.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for having us, and yeah, I'm really excited to really show you a little bit of what we've been building, and it's awesome like just seeing how this like rollout is being run, and then the enthusiasm for everyone here, so that's been really cool. I'm just gonna go ahead and share my screen. Sorry, I think I need to Can everyone see my screen?
I heard it. Wait.
I think you might need to go into the stream.
I heard it, but I don't see it. Where are you sharing? Let me see. Can anybody else see a screen? Is it just me?
No, I can't see
I
it.
can't see.
I can't see it either. Before it had like a little thing when whoever was sharing earlier, I think Tiny was, that I saw like a pop-up come up in the corner. Oh, there we go. Oh, it came up fast.
Yeah, it went away.
I don't know why it keeps going away. I will say, I hear it pop up, but then I look and it's gone.
Uh-oh. Let's see. Yeah. Is it maybe perhaps the permissioning?
Are you sharing your entire screen, or are you trying to like?
I'm sharing my entire screen. Or trying to.
Okay. That's where I messed up last time. So
It shouldn't be a permission thing because I think everybody should have all the same permissions. And Tiny shared, and I think you guys will definitely have the same. Maybe it really just keeps going right back out. Maybe try going out and then right back in. So maybe it's a connection, like out of the call.
I would try that in one second.
Yeah.
Just make sure with the roles you don't give somebody too much power.
What with rules? Oh yeah, no, for sure. Appreciate that.
So just for some context too, how Andros and I know each other is actually we're just in the same like we're in an LA Telegram group.
Okay.
It's super awesome group, but there's like 500 people in there, bunch of like founders and investors, and everyone's always like asking questions and like throwing out what they're working on, and so that's how we initially connected.
Cool. Yes, perfect. It worked, Andros.
Yeah. Oh, I got it.
Yep.
Awesome. So yeah, a little bit about what we do. So like Wonder is essentially like a Web3 community collaboration tool. We help decentralized organizations basically manage their contributor workflows while helping these contributors get paid in as many ways as possible. And then sort of at the same time helping these contributors build up some sort of reputation. And we are also working to making that, as Mo mentioned, like making it work with how governance is done as well. So this is essentially the screen that people can see. We want to make things as easy as possible for contributors to start work. And so essentially when they log in, they have like a good overview of all the things they need to do across the different organizations that they're part of. Like most of the contributors that we talk to contribute to more than one org. So this just makes it really easy for you to see like everything that's needs your attention and needs completing. We also kind of fit like a Kanban board to really like fit what the DAO or the org web sort of workflow looks like in Web3. So you kind of have this idea of proposals where these are kind of like community ideas or feedback that people want to implement. These will be able to be exported into Snapshot really soon, so you can actually like create Snapshot proposals from these Wonder proposals. And then each task or project actually like has a unit of work associated with it. So people who are assigned will need to like submit like a GitHub link or Figma or whatever it might be to actually prove that they did the work. And then when that gets approved by someone with the right permissions, and there's like a reward associated or grant associated with the project, you can actually really easily make payments from a Gnosis wallet or off platform, sort of like via just like linking a Polygon scan link or Ether scan link. Or if you use Utopia Labs or Parcel, which are some of these other like Web3 native payment tools, you can actually choose to do that too. But at the same time, we know that a lot of people are not only contributors, but also operators. So we also have like a view which makes it easy for you to make decisions on like the different proposals. So like being able to have like a superhuman view to approve of proposals and like sort of submissions to projects makes it easy for you to just like quickly sort of unblock people as well. And then you can also do membership requests for people who like want to join your workspace. And then in each workspace, we kind of like have this view where people can very easily create many different things. So you can create like a task, which is called a task, but it could be a project, a milestone, which are like goals you want to set for organization, pods, which are essentially like working groups, bounties, which are kind of like more flexible paid out projects. We'll go through each one very quickly, and then proposal, as I mentioned, where people can sort of like create ideas and feedback to be worked on. And I think what makes us like pretty unique is this idea that we have like very fine-grained roles within Wonder. So like you as an owner, there are kind of like three default sort of roles in each organization. You have the owner who can just basically do everything, a core team member who kind of has more permissions, like managing pods, adding people, creating projects, but you can also edit these. And then a baseline contributor who can create proposals as well as take on tasks that have been unclaimed. And then you can also create your own. So you can create like a partner role, for example, and you can say like, they can just create projects or something. But as you can see, you can also like token gate these kind of roles. So like makes it easy for you to actually like apply token gate rules So here, for example, if you have one crypto token, for example, you actually can get automatic access to the role. And then for token gates, you can create like ERC20 tokens, gated access, or an NFT as well. And then sort of with each organization, we know that people normally pay out different wallets, so you can actually attach like multiple wallets to an organizational workspace. And then actually like we compile like a payments ledger where you can like batch pay people, either like, you know, if you're running payroll or bounties or paid projects, you can actually batch pay and choose a Gnosis wallet. I'll show the whole flow a little bit later, but yeah, essentially you can just pay out through your Gnosis wallet very easily. And then kind of we have this idea of pods, which are essentially like working groups or sub-DAOs. So like you can make these very flexible, like they can be functional teams like engineering, or around project launches, or just like around ideas like highest priority, for example. And you know, you can actually like check out the milestones. A lot of people use this as kind of like a sprint sort of idea, where like you can set a due date for a sprint or a milestone, and then just like put all the tasks you need doing in them. And you can like also discuss, you know, what needs to be done here as well. But you know, more importantly, like each workspace actually has its own sets of permissions, and so you could be like an org level sort of core contributor, but actually be like the owner of a working group, for example. And then you can also attach specific wallets to each pod, which makes it easy for you to do budget allocation and also do your own like kind of payouts as well. So like, you know, you can kind of just very easily do batch pay. And if you pay stuff on mainnet, via mainnet, this actually like batches everything up and makes it really, you know, gas efficient and also time efficient as well, as Gnosis is sometimes very slow. And then, you know, as well as, you know, not just having this workspace idea, but, you know, we also make it possible for you to connect like knowledge management to your workspace. So, you know, we know the Notion gets a little bit busy. You can actually like connect, you know, the most important documents onto a workspace on the org level. So like you can create like categories, like, oh, these are the onboarding documents, these are like design assets. And this just makes it easy for like contributors when they get on. You know, if they just see the board of things to do, they might not know exactly what to do, but here's some like more context that people can use. And then sort of in each contributor profile, you can not only see like their Web2 credentials, like their GitHub or Twitter, but actually like, you know, the DAOs that they're part of, the pods they're in, and exactly what they've done. So this gives you like a better sense of what people have like completed. And then I kind of mentioned bounties as well. So, you know, the idea of bounties is that like multiple people can submit basically to this bounty. So this could be like bug reports, this could be like a competition for like tweets. And, you know, what makes us very unique is that we can actually make this very flexible. So you can run competitions, like, you know, maybe first place gets like 1,000 USDC, and you can actually like very easily pay that out, as again with the same methods that I showed. And then finally, just to show like, you know, there are two more things that I can show. One, which is more like, you know, we also have this idea of like an internal versus public workspace. We care a lot about privacy, so you can not only create like private pods where like only people in that pod can see what's going on, but you can also like have the separation of like, oh, these are the things that are like only like public. So people who might not be part of your workspace, but like, for example, you set up like a competition on Twitter or something where people can like, you know, make a video, you know, even if they're not part of the workspace, as long as they sign up to Wonder, they can actually like assign themselves tasks and like actually submit this. So there's like a separation between like things you want that's internal only, and also things that are like public. And then finally, we have like very tight Discord integrations. Let me just show you. So you can like choose to receive DMs, where you can see like everything that's you know you're assigned to, all your due dates, as well as like any sort of requests to, you know, submit or like approve things, or to approve a request to join things. But you can also set like channel-wide notifications. So this essentially becomes like a community feed of like everything that's being done and being created, so you can like more easily get context on what's going on. So yeah, that's a little bit of what we do. Please let me know if you have any questions.
I did have a quick question. For your payout, would you be able to pay in governance tokens instead of a different cryptocurrency?
Yes, you
Okay.
can. You can pay in your like sort of native token, and you
Yeah.
can also pay, basically on every sort of EVM chain, which is like Binance Smart Chain, Arbitrum, Rover Network, Polygon, and a few that I'm missing. But yeah,
That's really
as
cool.
well as mainnet.
And are there any
Oh,
fees associated with like a DAO using it monthly or yearly, or is it that more like out of the payout you guys take just like a percent or?
Yeah, so right now, like we're still constructing like our alpha cohort where we want to work with DAOs that we think are leaders in their space, and so initially we don't really want to charge until we've proven that we've provided value. But in the future we're probably going to go for like a more tiered system where like for example 10 active contributors gets you like 10 extra seeds, and that's done at like a monthly subscription. That's like similar to Notion.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds really cool. I like that. Kamo, sorry, go ahead.
no, that was a great question because I was interested in that as well. As far as payments goes, do you guys have the option? Because I've seen this in some other tools for DAOs that might not have a governance token yet, nor have they released kind of any version of a token that's even kind of they're using to track participation. Do you guys have any? I've seen them called like or task tracker. I forget if it's DWork that has that, where you can essentially pay in like task points. Is that an option here?
Yeah, so we're actually rolling that out this week so that you're able to just like pay out or just like set a number of points.
Yeah. Sweet.
Cool.
Awesome. That's huge.
Super cool. Anybody else have any more questions for Andros while he's here? And he is in the Discord, so of course you guys can always reach out anytime. But obviously, I think you guys can all see how that very closely aligns to what we are doing here. So I would definitely love to try out some of the tools. I think they would be a great tool that we can use here in the Raw DAO. We tried Coordinate, which just wasn't organized well enough for us. And the way that it wasn't organized well enough, it didn't make sense to pull our community off of Discord onto there in order to try to get back to Discord. But the way that Wonderverse is connected with Discord already and kind of reflects a lot of the same things, I think it would be cool to try it out and use that to kind of organize our efforts, give people again a place to go to see what tasks are needed, right? Again, our whole thing is always trying to create this hub where people say, well, where do I go? What do I do right now to start, right? It's like, okay, well, this is where you go. Even when it comes to our weekly recaps, on like recapping everything, and here's what's happening next week, and here's what you can do. So I think this would just be a really great way to really roll everything together and all the parts that we have and really organize ourselves and at least try it out. You guys know we've tried many tools before, so I think it would be cool to try out. But obviously we are a DAO, so it is a group decision. We don't have to decide today necessarily. Everybody can take some time, go follow Andros, dig into Wonderverse some more, and come up with some opinions.
And it's a huge marketing thing as well.
Yeah.
Like indirect marketing through just people being able, separate from your site, to feel like they can comprehend where the DAO is at,
right,
from a status, from a roadmap. And like when I see, if I go to DWork or like even Cleoverse or anything else that checks people DAOs are using to program manage, it's like night and day versus if I just drop into their Discord in terms of how, like, what I walk away with, understanding.
Right.
Because Discord is like the nitty gritty meat and sausage making, and it can be super overwhelming. And like kind of a deterrent. Now it needs to be that way, right? But this gives you like an indirect, almost front end to the world, and they can be like, wow, this is awesome.
Exactly.
I want to be part of this. It makes sense where I can fit in.
Yeah.
It's just awesome marketing.
Yep. I agree. I think it will make it very clear for where people can really get involved. And then, like you said, the Discord, this is where we, talk about all kinds of stuff and we just share ideas and, like the nitty gritty. But those that want to take it that extra step and really, put a little bit more in and look for where they can really apply. Like you said, just outside of that, people looking for that and then coming to the Discord after they have found that and seen, this is what they want to add to. Again, it just puts us in a serious position that we are a serious Web3 project and that we are using the tools and the cutting edge technology that's coming in and disrupting an old system that wasn't working and inclusive for everyone. And we as Raw DAO are coming together to build these bridges so that we can all keep working together and building a future that will continue to work for us all. So I'm excited to have everybody here. Thank you, Andros, for that awesome presentation. That was really great. And so did anybody have... Oh, go ahead. No? Okay. Did anybody have any other questions, thoughts, or concerns about anything we have talked about today? I will be dropping that weekly recap to recap what's happening next week. A few of the things that have gone on this week, the resources shared. After this, you will see us jump into the jam session. That is something we do every Sunday as we're creating. Tiny is our main content creator right now. But again, anybody here can create content for Raw if you'd like, or for yourselves. But we like to just set a vibe for Sundays as we're creating content for Raw or whatever we're doing. So if you want to join that jam session, please feel free to hop into the jam session below. We do have a music bot here. Very easy to use. You just put period play and the name of the song that you like, and we love a good variety playlist. So again, anybody is truly welcome. If you decide that you do not want to be a part of that jam session, totally okay. Usually it's just me and Tiny, but again, we're creating content for Raw, so it really does help us stay focused as we're creating it. So you guys can always just mute that channel because we do comment in it all day as we are building that playlist and jamming out. So if you're not going to jam out, I would suggest just muting it so that you don't get bombarded with those notifications. Otherwise, this has been a great community call, everyone. I hope you have an amazing, blessed rest of your Sunday and an amazing, blessed rest of your week. This is going to be great. We are moving into June. May flew by. So I really hope that all of you are just having an amazing month, making progress in all of your projects, all of your own goals. We're about to be halfway through the year, like literally month 6, halfway through 2020. So if you haven't, use today to start regrouping, figure out what you want to do this week, what you want to accomplish, and get on track to get things done. So this has been great. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace.
See ya. Thanks. Bye, guys.